tough question.
I think what, as a mom of a family gifted child, I need specifics that Rutgers can contribute. And one of the specifics that I think that I may be wrong, that I feel that Rutgers would help with almost immediately. I don't wait 5 years for this. There's no embryonic stage. Is research. Now, Rutgers is one of the leading research institutes in the US, and in some fields, Rutgers leads in the country. To what extent will you open your doors to our children? Because we are talking about, kids who are here, they can take science courses in high school. If the parents will sign and go to community college. But for these minds, and I'm trying to express it, so correct me if I'm not doing it, very well. But you cannot put a profoundly gifted mind and have them take a biological course that is all names. And ASIC, the photographic memorism. I have children, and I know a child who is 11 years old and has finished all high school science requirements. What next? Where does it go? There are many other ways we'll discuss today. But to him, if his parents are not scientists, he doesn't know how to get into stem cell. Biology is just names. We are not scientists. Some of us are running, mom and rinky-dink shops. Then what do we do in that case? All right, I need somebody who is in Rutgers, who is a professor, who can serve as mentor, research assistant, whatever, to lead him and say, look, biology is this, is stem cell, is this cell, is that cell, is biochemistry, and then his mind will formulate and he will know, Now where you could help us is that if you open your doors and help us, either with perhaps teachers who come to our school and teach the teachers, or we can link ourselves to your faculty and your staff, that would of tremendous help. The second thing is, I know for a fact, and I'm happy to have some of my, some of my compatriots in the same situation, could provide the same information, which is in other nations. I know for a fact, Raffles College, where they take the gifted children, in Singapore University, for all high school kids who are bright, link to the University of Singapore, so that each student is linked to a teaching professor for research, so that science comes alive for them, so that substance, it fires the imagination. You are the largest research, that's what I do. The second one, very quickly, which may be more broad.
Third point.
The second one is, how would you help us? And we have here an army to do information for you, all right, of what is happening in other countries. Where is the gifted school in a state with the highest number of PhDs? Nowhere in the world is a state with so many PhDs. Where is the gifted school for profoundly gifted children? You can call it whatever it is. We don't run around and say, I have heard every time we go to these conferences, it's the same desperate frustration. The high school doesn't answer, this doesn't answer, QSEC. But you could, Rutgers could. You're big enough to do that. Think about it at least. And if you want information, we're all there. Thank you.
Thank you. That wasn't that hard a question. The answer is not very simple, but I'll do my best in trying to respond to the first part of the question as honestly as I can, and the bottom line, okay, cutting to the end. I think we can probably work with you to get where you would like us to be. That is opening up research possibilities for your kids, working with faculty in real situations, and I think achieving that is doable, but it probably will take a year or two.
Well, you need a rock star.
I don't need to be a rock star. I got tenure. I'm good for it. But let me just throw out a couple of thoughts as to the challenges and what we would have to try and do to get there. First of all, the challenge is one of research research faculty, and we've got research faculty here at Rutgers, that in a number of the microbiology, stem cell areas, and I think there what we need to do, and I think Liz's office is likely to be a place where we build around, where we begin to try and provide a database of your needs and what we can get to provide a resource to respond to that. Again, realizing that this is probably one of the most expensive ways of providing education because it's one-on-one. It's not saying that's an excuse. It's not saying that we can't do it. It's saying because that's the nature of what it is we have to do, it may take a little longer. Why? Because we would then be reaching out to individual faculty who are doing research, making the connection, and encouraging them to think outside the box, outside the 5-minute university, and say, look, you have this kid who's only 13, but give it a shot, because it will be rewarding not only to the student, but also to yourself. And those are conversations that need to take place one-on-one. They can't be forced. They can't be mandated. The bureaucracy can't say you're going to do this. And frankly, for it to work as best it can, it should be a one-on-one dialogue trying to match the right student with the right professor. Now, the upside is, I honestly believe, as cynical as I sometimes am about public higher education, we have lots of very good researchers who really are very interested in mentoring young men and women. So I think we have the talent to do it. And what I would encourage is that we begin thinking about how we create the kind of information we need to help you. You know your kids. You know what they need. You know what they're good at, what they're not so good at. They're all maturing at different stages in different areas, and so we need to be able to develop a process so that we can get the information to work with you. One of the things that we, again, the new continuing studies unit goes through a lot of bureaucracy, because now instead of going through admissions, there's a one-page form. You fill it out, assuming there's space in the class, we can get students in. I'll go to the core of your second question, which is, what do we do about education? I don't know if it's possible, but it strikes me that, and I don't know if the legislation allows for it, but we have charter schools in this state for everything. And it might be worth some research into the possibility of a region-wide charter school that is designed specifically for the profoundly gifted. So the answer to your, see that the problem, and I don't want to be harsh with K through 12. You know, they have many challenges, in large part because every possible thing in the world has now been legislated and mandated and regulated. You know, when I was in high school, you know, I went to a school where if you got a shot from the priest, you went home and told your parents that you got hit by, you know, Father Cornelius, and then you got 3 more shots because the priest hit you, and therefore you did something wrong. Today, you know, yeah. Fast forward 30 years later, I'm on the board of that school. So actually, it's St. Benedict's in Newark.